We are back with top 10 lists. Now, I didn't do anything today. I took the horse to the University of Guelph to get an OCD removed. Everybody froze and jogging, and I was waiting for Amy to get done. I decided that today was the day I was going to ask Jimmy. Now, James scurried out of here, and I didn't get him. I'll get him tomorrow. I was going to ask Jimmy, Johnny, James, myself, maybe Mario, top 10 lists. You guys know mine. I do them every week. Jimmy's was done first. I'm going to post that one on Monday. This one we're going to post on Tuesday. Now, this is different. This is Johnny's list from the eyes of Johnny McKinnon. Now, Johnny McKinnon I've known since he was a kid. Johnny's worked off and on with me, with us, for the better part of 15 years. So, Johnny knows what he's doing. He does a great job with the babies. Now, I'm going to put him on the spot. I told him and Jimmy the same thing. 10 horses. You got to tell everybody why. It's the rule. You got to tell everybody why you're picking that particular horse. Numbers 10 through 1. So, this is Johnny McKinnon. He's going to give you his top 10 list for the stable.ca second week of February 2021.
So, I'm going to start with number 10. Now, Anthony wanted me to give a brief
synopsis.
A synopsis?
Yes, a synopsis.
That word's way too big for me, but what he said of why I put the horses on the top 10. Number 10 is Mischievous Rose. She's a beautiful, when she's trotting, she makes the odd break, but when she is trotting, she's just probably one of the most flawless gaited horses that we have. Ever since she's come back from the break, she's struggled a little bit. I don't know, just to find the rhythm again or what it is, but she the other day she trained really, really good. When you sit behind her, she's just got a big, strong ass. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no ass. You're allowed. You're
big,
good.
Strong ass on her when you're sitting behind her. Yeah, and just a flawless gait. So
this isn't cable TV. We try to keep it family oriented, but it's not cable. Quite cable.
So I put her in at number 10. Number 9, Amour Diener. Gotta be brutally honest with you. Don't know a whole lot about him. I put him in at number 9 just simply for the fact that on Wednesday, I think it was.
Yep.
Anthony wasn't here, so I got to go with Voyage, who can trot right along. And now I was last at the half, and Mario cut it with Amour Diener, so I had to do the more work, I guess. But we were stride for stride at the top of the stretch, and I got Voyage, and Mario's got Amour Diener, and I said, oh, this is where I put him away. And down the lane, we went head for head right to the wire, and I couldn't get by him with Voyage, so I basically had to put him in the top 10 just for that. Like I said, I don't know much.
He's a nice colt. He's a the only Father Patrick we have, first foal from a Muscle Hill mare. And I've told everybody, how we came about getting this colt, and I virtually owned all of them, and there's a one group that owns a small piece, and he's been a nice horse since day one, but he's really put it all together since we castrated him about 5-6 weeks ago. Really impressed with Amour Diener, and to be very honest, now I've had him on the top 10 list from time to time. He didn't make mine this week, but this was a little bit of a surprise, but I'm glad to hear that. I know, Mario told me he trained good on Wednesday, but I didn't get the full version of it until now, so even more happy with this colt, hearing your version of how things went on Wednesday.
Number 8, Tioga. She's just been a natural really since day one, I guess. She does everything right. Big, good, I guess, muscle mass. She looks just like every other muscle mass.
Yeah.
Lots of chrome on her, and just a beautiful gait. And she's kind of a pleasure to go with. There's not really much trickiness to her, so I put her in at number 8. Number 7, Arches Rainbow. I go with this filly, I guess,
the most.
Probably about 95% of the time. Same thing. She's got a little bit of trickiness to her. You got to kind of watch her on the turn a little bit. But when she's, I probably would have put her in at number 1, but just because of some of the mistakes she makes, but when she steps on the track, she's 100%. I don't think there is a horse in the barn that can go with her.
She's a nice filly. She's a big filly. She's going to be a big filly. And another purchase from Lexington privately after the sale, but very inexpensive horse that has really wowed a lot of people. Certainly turned my head a number of times, and just a very, very nice filly. Again, Ontario bred filly that an Archangel that looks like she's gonna do some damage this year if we can keep her healthy, keep her strong, keep her putting weight on. Her only downfall in the barn has been she does get picky once in a while. You'll hear her cough on the track once in a while. We've changed a number of her. We've changed her diet. We've changed the supplements we give her, trying to get her to come around. But she certainly looks better to me, so we're moving in the right direction for sure.
So yeah, that was number 7. Number 6.
My
Luck of the Dragon.
My number 1 pick this week was Luck of the Dragon.
Yeah, the only reason I put him at number 6 just because he's a pacer, and they gotta. I don't know. They gotta go
so
like
fast.
51.
Yeah.
And
it's hard. I'm the same way. I'm really critical of the pacers because I just know how fast. I'm the exact same way. I say it all the time. You have to have a nice pacer if you want to compete. When you have a nice trotter, you have a nice horse. But when you have a nice pacer, you still don't know what kind of horse you have because they got to go so darn fast. But I really like this colt too, the way he behaved. The thing that I love the most about him is how much he's changed from when we first started going with him till February 1st. That horse went from, geez, I really hope this guy puts it all together, to he just manhandled them the other day. I was sitting in the turn in the car. He looked like he just beat our best horses on idle. He didn't really even look like he didn't even really look like he broke a sweat, and he looked really, really good.
Same with him. I've been going with him
almost all the time
lately, and like about a month ago we had a hood on him because he wouldn't get like runaway hot, but he just get a little
frustrated.
Yeah, a little. So we had a hood on him, and just like he'd be right with the other horses, but then down the lane when they'd start to sprint away, he'd kind of get left in the dust. So, but ever since we took the hood off, it's just been unbelievable. Like,
he's all business.
Yeah. So I put him in at number 6. I think he's probably my favorite horse to go with.
He just looks like he's a little spaceship.
Like Rainbow, she can go fast, but you kind of gotta, you don't know what Rainbow you're getting that day, and all these. I've gone with Voyage a couple of times. I don't know, he's a little tricky on the turns, so you gotta watch him. But
Dragon, ran on me the other day.
Dragon, you just put a bag of feed on there, and it's just. So yeah, so he's number 6. Number 5, Renegade Gypsy. Just a big kind of. Reminds me of, I guess, Walk on the Moon, really. Big black Archangel.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's important about Renegade Gypsy, and everybody should take note of this, is that I maybe only went with Renegade Gypsy once, twice. You've never gone with Renegade Gypsy. Jimmy's never gone with Renegade Gypsy. This is a completely unbiased horse. In fact, if I look on this list, now, Isa 10 I don't think you've gone with, but for the most part, you've gone with almost every horse on here, aside from maybe a Mordine or a couple of them. But you've never sat behind Renegade Gypsy. I never have, other than once. James, Jimmy, everybody puts this horse on their top 10 list just because of what he could be looking at him. He is an incredibly gifted and good-looking horse. What that means come June or July, no one knows at this point. But I think it's so odd. Everybody's list looks the same, but not everybody has gone with all the horses. Renegade Gypsy, virtually no one has gone with this year, yet he shows up on everyone's top 10 list.
Yeah, I know I've tried to beat him lots of times, and I can't.
He's just a beautiful horse.
Yeah, so, that was number 5. My top 5, it was really tough to, actually number them, because I think it could be.
It always is.
You could do whatever you want. You could put Gypsy up at number 1, and you could rearrange it whatever way you want. It was so tough, but...
Every time I do my list, I go home and I look, and I always end up saying, oh, I should have put this horse on the list, or I should have put that horse on the list. I end up with maybe 18 or 20 that could have been in the top 10, but those are the 10 I come to that day.
Number 4. What is this? Voyage of Fire and Ice, or Ice and Fire?
Voyage of Ice and Fire. Yeah, he's a Break the Bank K. We've only ever had 2.
Yeah,
GW Chrome was one, and this guy was the other. And I don't know if I've had a horse, an Ohio-bred trotting colt, that looked as good as him in February. Maybe Osopine looked really good when we were training him down. You could tell he was powerful. Yes, really no one knew Yes was a good horse until he got to the races. And West 52nd, you could tell, was talented, but he was always a little cowardly. This horse here loves to fight. He goes looking for a fight all the time, and he never gets tired. Yeah, he made a break on me the other day, but I know why it was. I had the Murphy blind on him, and he's very, like he did with you with that gray horse when it come on the track.
Yeah.
He sees everything, and he's very immature when it comes to what he sees. So that gray horse, he saw him on the track, and he just stopped on a dime. Well, the Murphy blind, I think, bothered him. When he ran in a little bit, and I checked him, he really couldn't get his bearing in the turn, and he bolted sideways. He ran out, and then he made a break. I think we just put either a sharper pole or 2 poles on the left, take that Murphy off. I think this horse will be lights out. But yeah, he's a big, powerful colt, and I really, really like that colt. Have since day one.
Then I got number 3 is Spent. I've never ever sat behind this horse, but like I said, I've trained with him lots of times, and I've been like with him finishing lots of times with Rainbow and stuff, and we're trotting pretty hard on the end of it, and he's right there. So basically, I had to put him in there. He's big, black, good looking. He's a swan for all.
That's right. He's a swan for all. Irv Miller owns a quarter of that colt.
So yeah.
Jimmy had him on, as I said, had him number 1 on his list. I was surprised. I mean, he's a nice horse. He makes my list all the time too, but I was so surprised to see you and Jimmy put him at number 1 and 3 because neither of you have gone with him that I know of before. No. Jimmy maybe once or twice, I'm not sure, but not really enough to say, oh, this is the best horse. But Jimmy put him at 1 and you put him at 3, which surprised me both of them.
Number 2 is Unbeatable Kemp. Never sat behind him before. Amy, she keeps him hidden pretty well.
Jimmy loves him too. He went with him
Jimmy
once.
went with him. I think
once or twice.
I think you went with him once or twice.
Yeah.
James went with him once or twice. Jimmy
Everybody that's ever gone with him likes him.
Amy, I've never ever gone with him, but like I said, I've been stride for stride with him.
Amy, I'm just looking at your list here. Amy, be pretty happy with your list.
Yeah, and obviously number 1, Isa 10. I did sit behind her once. It was very, very early.
Yeah.
And I think you were out there with me with something. I can't remember. But it was very, very early, and we didn't have watches on.
I remember that day. Yeah.
We were marching like...
She can fly, that filly.
Yeah, she can fly. Like, same thing.
Everybody's cheering for that filly because obviously that's the sister to Lawmaker, and Lawmaker has meant so much to the stable.ca. And I didn't get to get the brother last year. He didn't turn out to be a really good horse at 2 anyway. I didn't get to get the brother last year, and that actually cost me a pretty uncomfortable couple of hours at the sale with my wife. But this year, the filly was right in our wheelhouse. She was a lot more affordable, and man, for a little horse, it feels like she's got a big, big engine in her. I only went with her once or twice, but I know Amy just moves her at will and just lays everybody to waste when she moves her. So she knows how to win, and you can't teach that to horses. You can't teach them how to win or how to want to win. This filly just always, when she's in the hunt, she usually gets there, and that's what I love the most about her.
All right, so that's my top 10, but I want to do just a little ballsy statement.
Yeah.
That Archer's Rainbow, if she was on her game, and she was behind any of these horses,
I think
at
you're
the top
right.
of the stretch.
Oh, I think you're right. Archer's Rainbow. That's what I love about her too. That's a filly that, she may have a few little ulcers. They may bother her. She doesn't eat as good as I'd like to see her. We're consistently changing her diet, trying to get her on a consistent way where she can put weight on. The odd time you'll hear her cough on the track. This is a filly that isn't. You don't just hear horses cough and then go out and train as good as her. She overcomes everything that she shouldn't be able to in that manner. Those should play a role. Her being a little underweight, a little frail, a little lanky should really pose a problem. But instead, she just feels like a monster when... when I saw you coming the other day, I didn't realize where you came from.
Yeah,
and
last.
Yeah, from last. And we were making it down the lane. And, she doesn't give up. She keeps coming and digging and digging. You can't ask a horse to do that. You can't expect that of a horse this point in their career to really dig as deep as they can. And you can tell. When she's trotting, she is trotting as hard as she can, which will eventually turn her into a nice horse. If we can control her diet, get some weight on her, keep her healthy, I think this could be a real, real nice filly. So I don't disagree with anything you said. I love Archer's Rainbow, and I think she's going to be a nice filly for us.
Yeah, so that's my top 10.
So that's Johnny's top 10 list. I think it's really good to have. I really like this, having these different plans. I see the bias, but when you see horses that are on these lists, Spent and Renegade Gypsy, Johnny and Jimmy don't go with those horses, yet they show up. Spent was on number 1 of Jimmy's list. He might have went with him a couple of times, but not that much. Renegade Gypsy, no one virtually has gone with other than Mario, yet he shows up on everybody's list. There's almost 50 horses in this training center, and yet you get a horse that somebody no one goes with that continues to show up in these lists. This is what I keep saying, and it's not to sell shares. He's sold out. I find it so intriguing that some of these horses show up. My list is different. I'm biased. Of Tom is on every one of my list. I love the filly to death. Yet Jimmy and Johnny both skated past her. And
she would have got an honorable mention.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly fine. I think it's really interesting. I'm going to get Amy to do one too, and James to do one. Maybe corner Mario. It's good for our records. It's good for us to look back and say, this is what Anthony thought. This is what Jimmy thought, James thought. I find this very, very interesting. So we're going to keep this up. This was obviously shot on Monday. We're going to put Jimmy's list up Monday. Johnny's on Tuesday. We'll go with James, Mario, and Amy for the rest of the week. So that is perfect. Thank you very much, Johnny. And keep up the good work. Take care.